How did you guys get introduced?
That was probably at the first gig, to be honest. Basically, it was 9 Inch Nails in 2017.
Okay.
Where I got the opportunity to come and work with them.
Oh, cool.
And they had just finished up a rehearsal in here, actually,
Oh,
in this
right.
room.
Oh, right.
And I was sent onto an airplane and a car and got here, and I had never been here before. And that was, 9 years ago now. So this kit is new.
Yes.
This is the newest addition to the family of 6 now, I think.
Is there a model? This is a Gretsch, but is there a model name?
This model is called Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
And we have the custom USA Custom. And then we have a broadcaster. And this is the Brooklyn, which is similar to the custom, I would say. It's a little heavier, 6-ply.
Okay.
So we have 2 of the same snares in every rig.
Okay.
And this is the one, it's all like metal of some sort. So we do have the bell brass, the famous bell brass. We have copper. We have the one that is called black copper. And then aluminum. So for Ilan, things have, this is how it is. The only thing that's been added for this band, and when he joined this band, is this guy here on the end, which is an effects crash with holes in it.
Okay.
I mean, this is the nucleus,
Sure.
excluding these 2. But given on what I'm playing or who I'm playing with, I will add things that just make sense. I usually played a 24, but this 23-inch Sweet Ride has the right kind of bell for Foo Fighters music, and I can crash on it, which I love crashing on rides. I am not going to hide from the fact that I was born a Bonham fanatic. I mean, I can't talk about drums without talking about Bonham. But I grew up, well, first of all, I started playing around 7.5, 8 years old, a lot smaller then. And I played on my dad's vintage Ludwigs, and that was a very typical 22-inch bass drum, 12, 13. And for whatever reason, he had 2 16s. But that's what I was used to, and I always knew that Bonham had a 26. And I got a kit that had a 24. I'm like, oh, this is so much better, but Bonham had a 26. And the second I was able to get one and actually be able to control it, I really did love it. And I have no real explanation other than the whole beater being so far off from the center of the drum. But a 24 just feels like a bigger 22, and a 26 feels like its own thing.
Bonham-y, right?
Yes, but it's still got it's got a modern oomph to it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it's the poke. It's a lot of the attack comes from that. It's like when I take it out, still, you just lose.
I see the bass drum as just a bigger version of this.
Okay.
So I, at home, for example, love playing with no hole in the front head, but I know that's not conducive to live mixing, and particularly something like Foo Fighters. But,
True.
But that being said, with the toms, I like that play that's coming back at me.
Sure.
And I don't know, it just feels fun and responsive.
Okay. So you prefer a double-headed bass drum?
Yeah, just because I like, when you hit a double-headed bass drum, no hole, it kind of, you feel the resonance in your foot. This is silly. I don't play with shoes on, so maybe I'm more sensitive to that. But yeah, I just feel the same way I'd hit a drum with a stick, no hole in the front head. I feel like it's playing back to me.
Interesting.
And I like the sustain that's inherent without having a hole. So that tail, it just feels a little more musical, like it fills up more space.
So does it feel even weirder to you if you went to a smaller, like a 20, a jazz kit, 20, 13, 16?
Without a hole, or?
Either.
Well, the thing that I notice most is obviously being closer to the center of the head.
Yeah.
You get less of that rebound. Depends on the type of music. But
Okay.
if I'm just sitting down to play, I like it to be as responsive as possible.
Ilan, you have such a commanding right foot. When you play 4 on the floor, it doesn't lose the groove.
Oh, well, thank you.
That I find a lot of drummers, it just, I admit I probably couldn't do it either, but somehow, like something suffers from the 4 on the floor. It doesn't feel as good to me ever, generally.
Yeah, it's. I think there's a balance to be struck between the 4 on the floor feeling rigid and authoritative, but the hands swinging on top of it.
And maybe that's what separates that beat, that groove for the song.
That could be.
Because the hi-hat pattern is so beautiful.
Well, thank you.
It's just so musical.
Well, thank you.
All right, this is thick. This is a lot thicker than what comes with this drum, for sure. I know with this head that I'm gonna go until it starts saying pretty much.
So you're a 2-key guy. That's an interesting
I do
concept.
2 keys, not only because it's faster,
Yeah,
but
but you're
also
tensioning the head equally.
because it's equal, you
Oh,
know?
wow. So, but I noticed you started,
I always start at 1 o'clock.
well, but you've fingered tight
Exactly.
the lugs as tight as you could each.
I go as hard, tight as I can,
So
possibly can.
so that would be a pretty good starting point for each lug. Oh, there it was.
Now you can hear it starts telling us. I'm gonna listen to that underhead.
Oh yeah.
I wanna get a little higher. The other good thing with using a thicker head is that it wants a little bit higher pitch or a higher tension to get to the same pitch,
Yep.
which means that the lugs have to work a little harder and it will sit tighter.
Good.
You know, here,
Oh.
it won't move as much. Okay. I'm starting to feel pretty good with this.
What are you trying to find?
Can you hear that?
Yes.
That one, so I will go over here too. This is a little lower than that, I feel like, but they're both low. So I'm gonna. Both of them.
So,
Done. how it has a little bit more chug to it.
Yeah.
A little thuddier.
Yeah. Thicker.
I really like this. I like this because it doesn't go all everywhere, you know? It
I see
doesn't.
what you mean.
And the way Ilan plays the drums is just, it just sounds different too. Like, I know it's not gonna sound the same when I play or
Right.
the way I hear it. It's like we spoke about before, like, I'll do my tweaks and I do things that I think is good and I feel it, try to listen to it, but like I'm sitting here, I'm hearing so much of the drum. When I go off stage and he starts playing and I have my $2,500 in-ears and everything is coming through a perfect mic line, you know? It's just so nice to hear it there and like sit back, relax, close my eyes, and I can hear every single stroke, everything. I know exactly what I would change or...
How much when you do an acoustic tuning and you're like, okay, the kit sounds great. Like right now, it sounds great. But then Ilan comes in, starts playing, and you're hearing things through your ears that you're like, oh, I need to change the snare. I need to, the next time, I need to adjust the toms a little bit more. Does that...
It would usually be like the toms always sounds better when he plays them.
Really?
Always better.
Okay.
Because the way he hits it, it's just great. The snare sometimes, I feel like I want to make adjustments because maybe he hits it harder, he has a different rim shot. That is very specific to his playing style.
Sure.
Maybe not so much when he switched between left and right, because funny enough, that is very, very similar. Like,
That's
if I
crazy.
close my eyes, like, I wouldn't know if he's playing here or if he's playing there. You know, it's not like I can hear a difference. And yeah, we were talking about it. You can almost see in some videos when he plays, you will see he chokes the stick pretty high up and he tends to roll back and lean in a little bit. So his ghost nose sometimes comes in pretty far back, and it almost looks like he's hitting the drum down here. But like after a show, if you go and look at this bullseye, it's like a thumbnail in the middle. That's where all the hits are.
When I first started playing, my dad was teaching me beats and fills, and he was teaching me right-handed because that's what he knew, that's how he played. And I just realized that this is stupid. It doesn't make any sense. And this is closer.
It is weird.
That was it. There was no, I didn't really even think about any coordination. I just thought, why am I doing this? And I did this, and I played, who knows what it was, some kind of beat. And I brought him back in, and I said, I got it. He'd say, okay, show me. And I started playing, and I just remember him like looking at me, and I'm like, what? And he's like, it sounds right, but it doesn't look right. And memory goes a little hazy there. Some things still felt comfortable right-handed, which is why I love having the ride right here. Generally, I play hi-hat with my left hand, and I ride with my right hand. So I'm constantly leading with either hand, depending on where I am in the song. But he took me to a Dave Weckl clinic, and it came to the Q&A. And my dad raises his hand and said, okay, my son started playing drums, but he's hitting the hi-hat with his left hand. What should I do about that? And he said, leave him alone. If that's what's comfortable, that's what's comfortable.
Thank you, Dave.
And that was it. Thanks, Dave. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Can we talk about the new record for a minute?
Of course. I get a lot of my, hey, what are you doing? Why don't we record texts at like 7 in the morning when I'm at the coffee machine, borderline unconscious, because I need to take my kid to school in an hour. And he's got the energy like he's already been awake for 3 hours.
Because he has.
There you go. And so that's how that first started. Obviously, it went well. And then when it came time to actually do this album, I didn't know we were doing it. 7 o'clock on a Monday at the coffee machine. And he says, hey, it seems like a great week to do an album. I'm like, yeah. He's like, why don't you come over at noon? I'm going to send you some songs. So he sent me 3 songs.
Which had drums, like demo drums?
Demo drums.
Okay.
Yeah. No vocals. So it's
Right,
just
yeah.
instrumentals. That's the way he likes to work. I have no idea what it's going to be other than drums, bass, and guitar.
Sure.
But I go learn these 3 songs. Next morning, 7 a.m., here's 3 more, 3 more, 3 more. And then before you know it, there's an album's worth of material
Correct.
that is done.
So the $1 million question,
Yeah.
we all know that Dave's an amazing drummer.
Yeah.
But then demos were sent to you. Was it influenced, like, oh, I'm going to take this and do my own thing? Was it, I'm going to stick to, or a simple song, so I'm going to stick to the groove, or?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's, I never approach anything by saying, I'm going to make this my own. I've always thought that that's the safest bet. And by safest, I mean, obviously, if that's what he played to his song, that's what he wants to hear.
Sure.
But every single time, and I mean that, every time, and you have to also keep in mind, sorry, I'm interrupting myself, but I get the feeling that when he's demoing his own stuff, he's not thinking much about it. So he'll go in and do the drums, but it's not like he agonized over 10 takes figuring out what the exact parts were.
It does not.
That's just the bedrock of which he's going to record his song over.
Correct.
So he's not precious about it either. But I still learn it as it is. And I do feel like naturally he and I look at parts the same way.
Cool.
You know, a bass drum pattern is the gospel. You have to follow that every time. That is part of the DNA of the song.
Right.
A lot of people don't look at things that way. So as a drummer, when you know this is the groove for this section, that's the groove for that section, that's 90% of the song right there.
Right.
Anything else will be fills, which he doesn't care about. That is the thing that I would bring to the table. Or he'll
Amazing.
say, I intentionally left this blank or super simple because I didn't want to think about what else to do, but just try some stuff. Try some stuff, and there would be a sort of collaborative back and forth where I'd have an idea, and he'd be like, I like that, but the part you're doing at the end, move that to the, let's swap it
Switch.
around.
Little swap, little arrangement.
And then I'll
swap.
do that, and I'll go, ooh, what if we try it this way? And then before you know it, we've ended up on a part, and it could be something very simple that nobody would even notice. But looking at the structure of a song and each one of those grooves kind of being these building blocks, it's very easy to rearrange things when that's the way you look at it.
That's amazing.
Right, and then the second verse, it amps up a little bit, so. And then by the time you get to the solo, it's that kind of full-on. And I guess that's an example of like, yes, but that's an example of in the studio, there's the basic kind of offbeat hi-hat beat. And then how do we feel like things are slowly evolving as the song goes? And then we decide, okay, start with just the hi-hat. Second half of verse 2, throw in a couple of the doubles. Verse 2, more, and then by the time you're in the guitar solo, it's that very mechanical setting hi-hat, and that kind of just helps the momentum build throughout the song.
So in this case, was this kind of a Dave beat that was amplified on?
Yeah, so this had definitely the offbeat hi-hat and I think some of the doubles, but then we were thinking, okay, how do we make it feel like it keeps building without being obvious? But I have to say, having played it live for a decent bit right now, it's weird playing it by myself.
Interesting.
It feels lonely. They've been playing, they are a 100% live organism.
Yeah.
And when you step into that, they've been doing what they've been doing for a long time. And a lot of that has to do with the energy on a per show basis.
Correct.
So I feel like I've slotted into that. Did a good amount of research before.
You did?
Yeah. Especially with drum parts.
Ah.
Because especially when you cover, let's say, stuff from the first 2 albums
Right.
that Dave played on.
Dave played.
Very specific parts.
And
But when you hear a live rendition of something, there's the way Dave recorded it, there's the way Taylor played it live. And then I learned a lot from watching their last couple of years of live performances because they change things. They add little jam sections. They do that. So I also watched a lot of Josh's playing, but then I would kind of reverse engineer it and think, what did he do differently to Taylor that Taylor did differently to Dave, and why did each of them do that? And then there's kind of a way of picking parts that make sense, knowing that the album is obviously what the intent was. But it was also great with Taylor because he would change things through the years. I would watch him numerous shows spanning 20 years, same song, and see the way that he started developing little idiosyncrasies that then became part of the live version of the song.
wow.
And I know it may sound a little over the top to kind of go through that forensic analysis, but I'm a big proponent of showing up to day 1 of rehearsal as if I was ready to go play a show.
It feels like you did your homework.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way I am.
Oh.
But, you know, I very well know that, and this isn't just Foo Fighters, but bands who have played a lot, the live renditions of songs are often very different to what was on the album.
Of course.
And people have become used to the way they play things to the point where, oh yeah, that's what we did on the album. I totally forgot about that.
Right.
So I wanted to be as current as possible in terms of structure, jam sections, outros, new accents, whatever it may be. So I had to do a lot of kind of digging and going back, but it was interesting. You know, it's the first time I've had to go through maybe 3 different drummers of the same song and think,
Wow.
wow, yeah,
Wow.
what were the changes and why?
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the only time I ever hit this thing during a show.
I think it should be on a motor and lower from the ceiling.
I think that would be a cool production
Right.
trick. What's funny though is that sometimes I hear it bleed, and I feel like I have it on my hi-hat. Like, obviously the floor is solid right now, but on a riser, I feel like every time and I'm always keeping time when I'm playing. I just hear it going. It just sounds like somebody's playing tambourine next to me, and I'm like, damn it, stop it.
There's no such thing as a tambourine mute?
You know what? It has. Johan!
Sorry, bro. I think he's
No,
joking.
I'm totally joking. It's something we should invent, you know?
The tambourine mute. Like a piano felt.
Yeah, like one of those, the
That's
things
easy to
you kind of
build.
like,
Not.
There you go.
you know what, it could just, I mean, it should just, no, it can't fall down. It
You know,
should-
the best part is that he's actually thinking about a way to devise.
I hear the
something
wheels
cool.
turning in from in here.
Absolutely.
That was the Amazon Prime shoot we did.
Oh.
And you were there.
Yep.
And you came, so he came in from the bus or room studio, nice little setup he has out there, whatever. And he came in and he's like, Johan, that kick sounds so good. And I took a second and just, yeah, it does, you know? And I see the microphone. Usually what happens when I feel like guys are like, let's try some different mics. And to me, it's just click, and then we have another click, and then it's another click. Nothing really happens in that area where the bass is. You know what I mean? And that was the big difference, I think, with this kick mic, was that it brought something nice to that low end that I hadn't heard before, really.
That's right.
That was really pleasant to hear. That was really something else. I liked it a lot. That's why it's still there, till this day. Yeah.
There was a time on a tour where the stage, this was a Nine Inch Nails tour, where the stage was so, I don't even know if they actually ended up using it. My memory's blurry, but we were rehearsing with the stage that was almost like a white or a clear acrylic. Do you remember this? Wow. And lights were shown from beneath it. But in that band, I would run from drums to piano or to something else.
So you would slide?
Yes, and I hated the moment where I had to ask somebody if they could get me some grippy socks.
Oh, wow.
I was like, I don't want to be an idiot who slips on the stage because I'm trying to
But
get from point A to
did
B.
it change your...
No.
No,
No.
it's fine?
Yeah, but now having kids and putting grippy socks on them, I was like, I
Yes.
can't believe I requested these as an adult.
Yes.
But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
It's a valid.
Yeah.
It's a valid question.
So I cracked this little glue line. I like to do that. It feels good for me to do that.
Well, it sounds like drums.
It does.
How's your ears?
Good. When
As
you
in
were,
the monitoring.
when you were, I love hearing the ambient mics.
What's that?
I love hearing the ambient mics in particular.
Oh yeah, we've got it kind of cranked up. It's pretty rad.
Yeah.
The drums themselves are massive sounding.
Right there, Sweden's finest.
Sweden's finest.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to tightly contain it than it is to make it artificially longer.
Yeah,
Which is what I'm usually having to do.
there's a balance there because obviously, and I don't say this as a pat on my back, but there's a balance between technique related to the tuning of the drum.
Sure.
So when drums are tuned lower, as you can attest to,
Yes.
they have more attack
Yes.
and they're less sensitive.
Correct.
But surprisingly, to most, I would say that drums of this size project better
Yes.
when they're tuned higher. So that also kind of fights back in a way where you're not just burying the stick into the drum and you're just getting that note of attack.
Right.
So I think we've had that balance between what I'd like, what fits with the music, and what front of house wants. There's a constant dialogue there.
Okay.
And I think Johan secretly tunes the toms up a little bit more and see if they notice. And
Okay.
then by the end of it, they're like, oh, the drums are sounding really good. So
Okay.
tune them up a little bit.
All right.
But did you notice that at all?
No.
There you go. Yeah, I'm usually a little more relaxed when I'm just playing for fun, but then live mode kicks in and
You were swinging for the fences again?
it just happens.
Nothing wrong
I
with it.
can't control it.